Hey guys, it's Brian from PhoneArena here, and today we're going to look at the Optimus L9 from LG and T-Mobile. Now the L9 is more of a mid-range, budget-friendly device. It's not something that's meant to compete with the Optimus G or the Nexus 4. However, in that right, it is still a pretty nice device with a lot of nice higher-end features. First and foremost, we have this really nice 4.5-inch IPS display. It's not the highest resolution at QHD, but at the same time, it's nothing to sneeze at either. With 4.5 inches in QHD, we're looking at about 245 pixels per inch, which is a very respectable number. It's nothing like the high-end devices such as the HTC One X or the iPhone 5, but at the same time, it is a really good display. Because it's IPS, we have really good viewing angles here, and overall, it really held up even in bright sunlight for us. So that's one of the features that kind of grab you right out of the bat. Under the hood here, we're going to have Android 4.04 running LG's Optimus UI, which is fairly close to stock with some of their own cartoony tweaks. You have some nice little transitions, animations, but for the most part, if you've used an Android phone, you're going to be pretty comfortable using the Optimus UI here. Now this is running on a TI OMAP processor. It is a dual-core 1 GHz processor. Has a gig of RAM and 4 gigs of internal memory, although about half of that is taken up by the system. But it does feature expandable memory. We'll pop off the back here just to show you around. And as you can see, you've got the memory card slot as well as your SIM slot and your removable battery. So while it may not have a ton of internal memory, it does have plenty of expandable memory available. Does not come with a memory card, but these days most users are going to have their own cards anyway. Now in terms of design, the Optimus L9 is a very nice phone. It's pretty thin, it's just over 9 millimeters thick. It has all plastic construction, but it is a pretty high quality construction here. You can see the metallic bezel around the edge, adds a little bit of class to it. Definitely an LG built phone. It's very nice and angular, has their minimalist design. It's really comfortable to hold too. This back here is soft touch and also has little nibs for texture. And you can see the rounding here just makes this a very comfortable phone to hold in your hand. It's nice and light. It does have the physical home button, as you'll notice. We're not really too crazy about that trend. Personally, I think the capacitive buttons work just fine. And another thing you're going to see here is that this is a menu button, not a recent app switcher button. So, like Samsung LG has chosen to break with traditional Android 4.X design philosophy and replace the app switcher with the menu button. Overall though, the performance is very snappy. We really like the design. It feels great in the hand, and not too much to complain about this refresh. Now like we said, this isn't the Optimus G or one of the other high-end phones, but it does offer some of the same software tweaks. We have quick memo here where we can go ahead and write on the screen, take a quick screen grab, and make some notes on it if we want to. We also have the sharing service through DLNA where you can stream it to a compatible device, but we don't have the really cool features such as Q-Slide that we see on the Optimus G, and that's more because the Optimus G just has a better processor that's able to handle that power. What we do have here though is a phone that runs very quickly. We didn't really experience any lag or hang up. LG is pretty heavy with the animations here, and they did not hinder the performance of the phone. We've got some good web browsing. We got Chrome loaded here, but it also has the stock web browser, so users can kind of choose which one they want. As you can see, we can pan, we can zoom, we can rotate. Page is reloading here, so this is going to take a little while. Must hit the back button. But no browser issues, everything worked exactly as we want it to. And overall, we were really impressed with how quick this is, even though it's not running atop the latest hardware or even the latest software. One of the few gripes we had with the phone is the 5 megapixel camera. You can see that around back here with the LED flash. Pictures just really didn't turn out all that well. They were grainy pretty much in any lighting conditions, indoors, outdoors. Details weren't fantastic. As you can see, you do have a decent amount of options here. You've got the voice shutter, which is where you can say cheese, so you can take a self shot with the phone facing at you and you don't have to worry about pressing buttons. Video camera performed okay. It is capable of recording 1080p video. Again, you have a decent set of options here to adjust various settings and whatnot. But overall, the camera was probably the low point of the Optimus L9. One of the really nice features, though, was the call quality and the battery life. Callers said this is one of the better phones we've ever tried, and we would have to agree with them. Voices for us were loud and clear, great voice reproduction. We didn't really have any issues conversing with our callers, even though they were in a really noisy environment. We could hear the background noise, but it was not overbearing. It was not over the caller, and they said basically the same. They said there was just a slight amount of hollowness, but they didn't have any issues hearing us. So real high marks for the call quality. And then the battery life, LG kind of rates it for 1 day and 5 hours of active use. We're not really sure what that means, but we will say that we got through an average day with plenty of activity and had a good amount of battery life left. So kudos to them for kind of focusing on those important points. Overall, we're pretty impressed with the Optimus L9. It's an $80 phone on contract, so it's got a great price point. The design is pretty darn good. It's nice, thin and light. It's real comfortable to hold with a really nice display. Doesn't feel chintzy at all. The only real concerns we had with the design, the volume rocker and the power buttons here, they're just a little bit small. They're not the easiest to find just with your hands, and they could have a little bit more travel to them. But again, minor complaints. It was perfectly functional. It's just something we would like to see a little bit better. But performance-wise, the phone is nice and quick. We didn't have any problems web browsing. There are a number of preloaded apps here, which we're not crazy about, but that's not the phone's fault. We can blame the carrier for that. And the phone had great call quality and battery life, so it could have a better camera, but at $80, we're not going to complain too much. The LG Optimus L9 is definitely a phone to consider if you're not looking for the highest end device. It offers a lot of those features at a really affordable price.